Alright, this is J Master Skills, and I was about to go for a ride, and it started raining. Very bummed. But I just wanted to put in there, a few things about safety. Generally, when I go and I like to ride, I usually wear a yellow vest, but I found this one vest. It kind of straps over what I'm using. It comes with a front light and a tail light. On my helmet, I use a brake free, which is awesome. They're expensive though, but I've been in a few crashes on this thing, and where other ones have completely just disintegrated, this one has stayed true. And plus, like when you buy one, you get these little attachments on here. So basically, like you just reach back and snap it right back in. Wait, I have it upside down. And just snap it right back in. So like there we go. Couldn't do it with my left hand. All right, so yeah, and so the other thing, most important thing I find is to have people able to see you, from behind, because I can't stand not knowing what's behind me, so I usually have this PID zoom rear mirror on my helmet. Now this thing, I had to actually glue it to my helmet because the sticker kept falling off and it wouldn't hold the weight. So I ended up finding the right spot I like, and I glued it on. But I also use wrist mirrors as well. So, because knowing what's going on behind you at all times is more than likely going to save your life. But the one thing you want is you want to be visible. So a lot of EUCs don't have proper rear view lights. They don't have them. And a lot of them are practically non-existent. Now the P6, I love the tail lights on the P6. It's just, they're so huge, and so, I just love the fact that they made them as big as they did. And I don't see why they shouldn't be made that way in the first place. So what I generally do, this is my V13, and I generally have a couple lights. So this one right here is just a blinker light. This one right here, I have like a tie wrap, but I switch it between wheels a lot. And there is a rubber band that holds it on, but I always use a tie wrap to make sure it stays on, because I hate losing them. This thing is from the light set of the sync pads, and they're actually pretty awesome because they these little straps right here. You can put them on anything. Here I have just on the handle of the V13. Now my V13, it does have a rear light, but it doesn't really activate that often. Now I love the P6 and all. The V13, is actually a great wheel as well. And on the most part, when it used to be considered huge, compared to the P6, is fairly, a lot slender. It's the same size everywhere else, but it's thinner. Even though with the P6, it's hard to tell when you're riding. But yeah, so the few things that really make this wheel better is I replaced the shocks with the Star Wheels shocks, and they have a better seal in the shocks in here. So you can actually mix a half oil, half air mixture. So at 180 PSI, I weigh 220. I do not bottom out. And keeping the rails slick will keep your, just like anything else with the stanchions, you want to keep the stanchions clean. I definitely, oil up in there, and every so often I'll just pull this tire down and just give it a deep clean if I'm like in the mud or not. But But those Stars wheel shocks just made a huge difference. And then what I did was I changed the tire from the knobbies to a combo tire. So these tires actually work better in the rain. Now it was, you know, it's been raining, and before the rain I took my P6 out, but that street tire is not good for the rain. So and especially now that it's been raining a couple days, to go out on that tire is really dangerous. But this tire right here, this combo tire, that's the best tire to go out on the rain. Better than the knobby, because the knobbies, you're only getting so much. It's all, you know, you're only getting the knobs that are, you know, having connection with the street. And you know, as the tire's spinning and you're switching to each knobs, there's that microsecond where there's nothing attached. You know, it's not attached. So, and even though you might have another knob holding it, but then you're only talking, you know, this much space, like randomly holding on to, and it definitely is not as good as a combo tire, which is just going to have full contact and have areas where the water can get through and get shot out the side. Now this thing is waterproof, but there are two sections on the V13 you have to be weary of, and that's up here and up here, back here. There's two openings, one where all the wires come through, and the only thing that keeps water from going up in this area is the fender. That's it. And so, see, with this flap right here, it might keep it from going on your butt, but if it's going around, it can still shoot water up in that area. I mean, up here, the tire is rotating this way, so the water's getting spit out that way. So there's no real risk going up that way. But, so what I did was I built a form in there and I glued it around. The only thing I had to do though was for the wires, I put a hole and then I put something that held the hole kind of sort of open as I covered it with a really thick, like an elastic glue. And so then that way I was able to slip the wires through that, and then you're not disabling the ability to pull your tire off, or, you know, yeah, I mean, even just pull your tire off, you know, if you're doing a tire change or something like that. And then up here, you kind of just, there's an area with the light that you can kind of do the same with a light. You can run the wires through. I mean, on the most part, everything, the motherboard and everything up here is covered and sealed, but it's the wires that are outside that are not. And water is conductive, and water gets in, you're basically cross-threading the wires, and you can short out the motherboard. So whether the motherboard's sealed or not, the wires being open is just as bad. So those are the two things you really want to do if you get a V13 to waterproof. And once that's done, then the whole top section is sealed, and you know, the only way to get in there, and this is pretty sealed right here. Plus it slides over, so I mean, it's not very common. The other thing too, you just have to be really careful with is these things right here. Even though, so the P6 has really thick ones that go on it, and they really stay on. These ones right here, they get worn out and it gets kind of floppy. So you have to be really careful with this, and when you're charging, to make sure that this thing is sealed if you're gonna want to go out in the rain. But yeah, so that's just a few safety tips. This is J Master Skills. Have a happy holiday and stay safe. Peace out.